How to install GNS3 2.2 on Windows 10. In this video, first we're going to go get the three things that we need to get GNS3 up and running, which is going to be the GNS3 installer, the GNS3 VM, and vmWorkstation Pro. And we're going to import the dynamips and viral images that we downloaded in previous videos and make a basic topology in order to verify that everything's working correctly. And what I'm going to do is get all of our downloads together in one folder, and I'm going to recommend that you do the same. And that's going to include the dynamips and viral images that we downloaded in previous videos, the GNS3 installer, the GNS3 VM, and vmWorkstation Pro. Also keep in mind that I'm going to be remote desktoping into a different computer to install this stuff on, and this computer has never had any of this stuff installed on it before. So if we run into any troubles, it'll just be a good learning point for us. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is go to GNS3.com, and on the base homepage they have the free download. We're going to click on free download. We're installing this on Windows. Click on download and it prompts you for login, so I'm going to log in now. Now that I'm logged in, it's going to allow me to download, and then I'm going to click save. And then I'm going to click on this link right here that says download the GNS3 VM. It's one of the other things that we have to download, so we'll just take care of that right now since we're here. And we're going to click the VM Workstation Infusion version. You can see the download started. And then while that's downloading, we're going to go get the vmWorkstation Pro as well. So I've just typed into Google download vmWorkstation. I'm going to click on this link right here that says download vmWorkstation Pro. And I'm going to click on this link that says download now. And that just starts the download. Real quick, I'm going to unzip the GNS3 VM. And then I'm going to double click on the GNS3 installer. And I'm just going to go through the options real quick. And pretty much just do the default installation. And so here I've elected to install WinPCAP. Alright, so now I've gone through the installation, pretty much did the default installation. I did elect to download the SolarWinds free tools. And then at the end of the install, I elected to automatically start the GNS3 program, which I've done. So now I'm just going to click next here. It says that it's been successful. Next. Alright, so now we have an error here. I haven't seen this before, but I'm just going to click OK. And if we run into more problems, we'll just deal with it. Alright, so now the setup wizard is trying to have us install the GNS3 VM, which we don't have installed yet, so we're just going to click cancel on this. And the next thing we're going to do is install the vmWorkstation Pro, which is right here. So I'm going to double click that. Alright, so it's going to require us to restart. I'm just going to say yes. Continue with restarting, yes. Alright, so we're back after the restart. And by the way, if you want to verify that GNS3 is working correctly, what you want to see is a green dot here on the server. So right now, all we have is the local server, and we get the green dot, so that's what we want to see. Alright, and it looks like I am just going to have to restart the vmWorkstation installation again, so I'm going to do that. And by the way, I always do elect to get this keyboard driver. And I also usually say yes to startup, but no, I do not want to participate in that program. All right, now it wants us to restart again, so I'm going to click yes. Here we are after the latest restart. I've started up GNS3. It's prompting us to create a new project. I'm going to hit cancel. Now we have VM Workstation installed. And I'm just going to click I want to try VM Workstation for 15 days for free. So VM Workstation Pro is a licensed product. If you buy it directly from VMware, I'm not sure what the price is, but it's kind of expensive. And if you want to get it for a lot cheaper, I would look on eBay. Of course, that is at your own risk. I'm not sure how legit that is. Click continue. Yes. Finish. Our next step is going to be go up to File, then click Open. We're going to go to our folder where everything is. So there's the folder that we downloaded everything to, and then that is the folder that has the GNS3 VM in it. I'm going to click Open. I'm going to leave the name the same, click Import. Another thing that's really important to note is that the version of your GNS3 installation and the version of the GNS3 VM have to be exactly the same. All right, so I've started the GNS3 VM and it comes up to this OK. This blue screen, that's what you want to see on that. And I'm actually going to shut off GNS3 and turn it on once more. Okay, so it looks like we just had to wait a little bit. Then you want to click on Enable GNS3 VM. And by the way, it says Player there. Player is the free version of the desktop VMware virtualization software. I always go with VM Workstation Pro. I've never actually tried the Player version. To my understanding, it works, but I always just went with the Pro version because I think it's better. And down here under the Settings section, this is where you allocate the resources that you're going to give the VM. So depending on what you have on your machine, you probably want to beef this up. So on this particular laptop, I have 32 gigs of RAM. I would probably give the VM up to 16 and as many vCPUs as you can. And the end result of that is it's just going to allow you to run larger topologies with more devices in them. And this down here, action when closing GNS3, stop the GNS3 VM. I usually leave that selected as it is. So I'm going to hit apply. Okay, and now what we want to see is the GNS3 VM turn green, which it has. All right, so that covers our installing and integrating objectives. Now we are going to import some new devices. These are default switches that come with the program. And if we try and drag one of these on, you see how it won't allow us to do that. And the reason is because we haven't created a project. So I'm going to click on File, New Blank Project. And we'll just call it Test 1. All right, so after creating a new blank project, I'm going to drag the Ether switch on here, and then it's going to ask what server we want to put this on. I'm going to put everything on the GNS3 VM rather than the client. So then now we have a switch there. All right, so now next we are going to go and import some images. So the first image that we're going to import is going to be the C7200 image, the dynamips image. So we're going to go Edit, Preferences. We'll go down to Dynamips iOS Routers. And we're going to select New. Run this iOS on my local computer. Oh, wait, back. Actually, we're going to run it on the GNS3 VM. So every time we drag and drop one onto the topology, it's automatically going to put it on the GNS3 VM. So existing image, that's looking for the 12.4 train. We're going to go New Image. We're going to select that one right there. Yes. All right, so this is actually my first time ever using this specific image, and it says that this is not recommended. We're going to try it anyway and just see what happens. Default RAM, 512. All right, I'm getting the proposed idle PC value off of GNS3.com's documentation. I'm actually not sure if this is going to work because we're using the 15 version, and this value is specified under a 12 version. But it allows us to put it on the topology. All right, so it looked like it works. Let this run and see if it goes all the way up. So by the way, this is the SolarWinds solar putty tool that comes free with GNS3 when you download it. You can tell GNS3 to use normal putty or whatever terminal software you want to use. All right, so it took a little bit to boot up, but now it's asking us, it's prompting us for the initial dialog. I'm just going to say no. All right, so we can see that all of the interfaces on all the cards here that I put in there are down, and EN for enable, and so we're in the router. So we were able to successfully import our 7200 into GNS3. Now we are going to import our viral images. All right, so this time we're going to go File, and we're going to go New Template, Import an appliance from the GNS server, GNS3 server, next. GNS3 iOS V, KMU, Cisco, install. Next. All right, so this is the iOS, and then we also have to give it a startup config. So for this, we can actually come down here and click download. And it's going to take us to SourceForge and automatically start downloading the file for us, which should send it directly to our download folder. So then we'll go import, and there's that. Okay, so we can open that. And it automatically applies it to these other templates as well. And so I was able to get both of these ready to install because I downloaded both of the images off of Cisco in a previous video. So I'm gonna highlight the top one, click next, and then finish. And then the appliance has been installed and created successfully. Then I'm just gonna do the other one real quick. All right, so now you can see that we have both of these routers here. And now I'm going to install the switching. So again, new template from GNS3 server. This time I'm going to go to the switching section. And I'm going to select Cisco iOS V L2. Now for the switches, I downloaded both the top one and this bottom one, so I'm going to import both of them. So I'm going to select that one, ready to install. And it was created successfully. I'll do the same thing again, new template. That one's ready to install, so next. Yes, finish. So now if we look at our switches section, we can see that we have both of those imported. And I can right click on this one and start it up. We'll open up the console to it as well. And we can watch it boot up. All right, now the switch has fully booted up. We're able to enable. And now I'm going to do the same for one of our iOS V routers. Start, console. watch this boot up as well. Alright, so now the router has come fully up and we look good to go. And that is going to conclude our install video. We downloaded everything, we installed and integrated everything, we imported in all of our devices, and we are ready to get going.